Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I think those of you that enjoy my Pretty Little Liars recap and reaction videos are really going to enjoy this one. And this video I am going to be talking about Sara Shepard's new book, The Amateurs, and Sara Shepard is actually the author of the Pretty Little Liars book series, which the show was actually turned into. And I just want to let you guys know that this video is being sponsored by Freeform Books, and when they reached out to me about working together on Sara Shepard's new book, I basically jumped at the opportunity without even thinking twice, because you guys know, if you watch my videos, I am completely obsessed with Pretty Little Liars and basically all things related to Pretty Little Liars. So with the show being on hiatus until April 2017, which is just like a ridiculously long amount of time to make the Pretty Little Liars fans wait for the show to come back, I kind of was looking for something to fill the Pretty Little Liars void that is in my heart right now with the show being gone for so long. So we're going to talk a little bit about the book in this video, and I'm also going to talk about Pretty Little Liars a bit and some unanswered questions that we have about the show, also a couple of theories. So if you guys are interested, just go ahead and keep watching. So first I want to go ahead and talk about the book, The Amateurs, just to give you guys a little bit of information about it without giving the book away, in case you actually do want to check it out and read it. But the book actually came out on November 1st, so it is already available if you guys are wanting to check it out, and I will list it in the description box below. But the book is based around the disappearance and supposed murder of a young girl named Helena Kelly, and there really isn't a lot of information about Helena's disappearance and murder. The case is still wide open and they haven't discovered who was actually responsible for it. So there is this website in the book, and it's called Case Not Closed. And the Case Not Closed website is where people basically post about these crimes that have been committed but never solved. And there is a girl on the website, and her name is Seneca Frazier, and Seneca ends up becoming friends with Maddie, and her and Maddie discuss the murder of Helena Kelly and want to try and solve it. So Seneca ends up going to stay with Maddie over spring break, and they end up meeting with another friend from the Case Not Closed website named Brett. And this whole group comes together and they go meet up with Erin Kelly. And Erin Kelly is Helena Kelly's sister. So they meet up with Erin and they basically tell her they're from this Case Not Closed website. They saw about her sister's murder and they want to try and help her solve it. And of course there's so many different twists and turns in this book, which really got me thinking how the book is so similar to Pretty Little Liars with the constant twists and turns. The disappearance and murder of a young girl kind of brings a group of friends together and makes them a lot closer. And there also happens to be the similarity with the Pretty Little Liars and the Amateurs, that in the Amateurs, while they're trying to solve the murder, that somebody is trying to prevent them from solving the murder. It's a little bit more hidden in the Amateurs. There's not like a specific person like A after them like how there is in Pretty Little Liars, but there's definitely somebody who is trying to stop them from solving the murder, especially if they feel like they're getting too many good clues and they're getting too close to figuring it out. So there's definitely that other aspect to it that makes it a lot more interesting and adds like a lot more drama to it, just takes it to another level. And there's also the whole thing, like, you're trying to guess the whole time you're reading, like, who the murderer is, like you were doing with Pretty Little Liars. And, like, it'll go through different things where it tries to make one person look guilty, and then it makes another person look guilty, and then it totally confuses you because you think this person is guilty, and then you turn a page, and then it's like, oh wait, just this person is guilty, like exactly how Pretty Little Liars always used to play us in past seasons, where we would think, like, oh, they're making this person look like A, and then they're like, oh, they're making this person look like A. Nope, that person's A. Oh, wait, no, now they're making this person look like A, and they just confuse us all. But the whole Case Not Closed website in this book about how they post about, like, different crimes and murders that are unsolved and all the, like, unanswered questions for these different murders really got me thinking about how with Pretty Little Liars, there are still so many unanswered questions that we have with the show that still in no way have been revealed. So I want to talk a little bit about Pretty Little Liars and some theories and some unanswered questions. And if you guys don't want any spoilers, if you are not caught up with the new season, just go ahead, skip ahead like a minute or two in this video, because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, and I'm definitely going to reveal some things and talk about like my thoughts and some theories on what I think is going on. So if you don't want to hear that, you don't want any spoilers, go ahead, skip ahead a little bit, and I will see you at the end of this video. So I would definitely say that one of the biggest unanswered questions with the show, I mean besides Uber A is, because obviously at this point we still have no idea who that is, but besides that, I would say one of my biggest unanswered questions with the show is definitely who killed Mrs. De Laurentiis and who was responsible for her murder. We were made to believe when it actually happened that the murderer was A, whoever A was at the time before we saw the big reveal, the big reveal of A. So, I mean, we ended up finding out that A, during half of the whole show, besides Mona at the beginning, ended up being Cece Drake. So we assumed that when Cece was revealed that Cece was the one that murdered Mrs. De Laurentiis, but come to find out, Cece is actually Mrs. De Laurentiis' daughter, which now that I think about it, she technically isn't Mrs. De Laurentiis' daughter because then Mary Drake came into the picture. There's like so many twists and turns in Pretty Little Liars, I just can't keep up. But I mean, she was related to Mrs. De Laurentiis, and we saw Cece finding Mrs. De Laurentiis when she was murdered, so obviously she's not the one that did it because she just completely fell apart when she found her and lost it. It's still a huge and unanswered question. We have no idea who actually killed Mrs. D. We don't know who Uber A is, and we're just assuming that whenever they reveal this big Uber A, that they're actually going to be the one who was responsible for Mrs. De Laurentiis' death. But it could end up flipping the script on us, and it could end up being somebody completely different than Uber A, and it could be somebody like working together with this Uber A. I have no idea. So another unanswered question I have at least is we ended up finding out that Spencer was actually Mary Drake's daughter, which I was like, what? But I found out that when I did my last Pretty Little Liars recap and reaction, a ton of you guys saw that coming and you were listing all of the reasons you saw it coming. And you guys always blow me away with all the stuff you find and your theories with the show, but a ton of you saw that coming. I didn't see that coming. I still think about it and I'm still confused. Like, it still makes no sense to me. So an unanswered question we have with all that is, like, if Mary Drake is actually Spencer's mother, we don't know who Spencer's dad actually is. It could be her dad that we see on the show all the time that we know is her dad, but it also could be somebody completely different because we also still don't know who Cece Drake's father is. As you guys know, my biggest theory on the show is that I think that Ren is going to be Uber A. I've said it so many times in every video. I always think it's going to be Ren. He had a tie-in with Cece at Radley. He had a tie-in with Mona at Radley because they all worked there. He's supposedly all of a sudden back with Melissa, which I think is really fishy. A lot of you guys still think Melissa's connected to everything. In my last video, a ton of you said you still thought Melissa. I've seen a lot of people starting to say that they think it could be Spencer and that they think that maybe Spencer has a twin, which I swear everybody on this show is just gonna have a twin that's gonna pop out of nowhere. Like Jason might have a twin, and Allie still might have a twin, and Spencer might now have a twin. Mrs. De Laurentiis had a twin. All these, and Spencer, I have no idea. I saw that theory in my last video that I did for you guys, my last recap and reaction. So many of you guys thought that Spencer has a twin. I was like, really? That is such an interesting theory. I didn't even think of that, but it totally could be. She could have a twin, and that's maybe why Mrs. De Laurentiis was like, hey, you're my daughter, because she thought that was the right twin and it was the wrong twin. That's a possibility. But it still could be one of the girls. I don't know, but this is my point with how it tied in with the amateurs, that the Case Not Closed website, just so many things are open and unsolved, and that's just what I'm thinking with Pretty Little Liars. There's still so many unanswered questions with the show, so many things we don't know, and loose ends that we're hoping get tied up really soon because the show only has 10 episodes left, so they got a lot of loose ends to tie up in those last 10 episodes, that's for sure. So yeah, I just wanted to sit down and have a little chat with you guys, do a little Pretty Little Liars talk because I've just been missing talking about the show for so long, and like you guys know, it's not coming back till April 2017, and this is definitely something that can hold you over until the show comes back on. It definitely has all the twists and turns and drama and suspense and everything that Pretty Little Liars had, so I know if you guys check it out, you definitely are going to love it, because I loved it, and the last chapter of this book has such a huge twist in it. I did not see coming at all. Like, you think you have everything figured out, and then you get to that last chapter and they completely flip the script on you, which I think they're flipping the script on us so hard in the last chapter of this book because there's gonna be more books in this amateur series, so they definitely set it up for another book. I think that is everything I had to talk to you guys about in this video, and also a huge thank you to Freeform Books for sponsoring this video. It was a pleasure working with them. And I really hope that you guys will check out The Amateurs. I enjoyed reading it so much. It was such a good read, and it is available now if you guys want to check it out. Everything will be listed in the description box below. Super easy for you guys to find, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!